Love is great.
Love is global.
Community.
Protecting the environment.
Love looks like all of you.
We're cleaning up our beautiful beach and boardwalk. That's a part of I Love a Clean San Diego.
Today we are doing one of our cleanups with our Clean Lady Bird Lake program.
You can have a big impact with the local parks, taking what we learn here to areas across the country.
We engage residents in meaningful community service. We also work hard in educating youth about the importance of protecting our environment.
And we're out at the festival today helping and encouraging people to recycle.
Love is empowering.
Love your neighborhood.
Connection.
Small acts of kindness.
Love is everything.
Love your happy place. Pledge to reduce, reuse, and recycle every day.
Wonderful, yes. I will say, just to start off, well, welcome, friends.
Thank you.
I love recycling, and it drives my wife up the wall because I look at every piece of plastic. It's exciting for me each week. And I can't remember when I started loving recycling back in elementary school, if there was a teacher who told me or whatever, but I do remember one thing, that I was told to recycle instead of building an investment in and an emotional connection to recycling. And so that's what we want to talk about today in terms of that transition that you all have been working on in terms of a campaign. Anne, you've been a great friend of SIS. We've been at many events together. Yeah. Niagara has done events together. So I've seen over the years the work that you've put into everything on this front for this campaign. Perhaps just tell us the overview, what it is, how it came about, etc.
I kind of tell this story frequently, that it came about over margaritas.
Best ideas do, yes.
No, I think, one of the things that the question I was trying to tackle was, why haven't we been able to fix environmental communications? Why, after 10, 15 years of big campaigns, are we still missing something that's driving people to action? And so over conversations first with Jenny and then with Keefe, we started to tackle this idea of what is it that we don't understand about communications and the environment that's actually driving into action. So that's what this campaign really is about. And if I could boil it down to its simplest idea, if you think about a moment where you're walking on a beach or you're walking in the park and you see a piece of litter and you pick it up, that's what this campaign's about. Because all of a sudden, it's like no fanfare, no recognition. It's about connecting that simple action to a much bigger and broader movement. Yeah. That becomes something bigger than just that one simple action. It's literally about actions that are too small to fail that engage you in the environment.
Yep, absolutely. What I found so fascinating about this campaign is, like I said, it's not just you're being told to recycle or some other aspects of the campaign. There's behavioral research behind it, which is, I'm not an expert, but I think that's like pretty unusual, pretty unique, pretty groundbreaking. Yeah. Keefe, can you explain some of that behavioral research? Why? First of all, how did that conversation develop in terms of, we should actually do behavioral research first and understand how people think about this?
Yes. I'm Keefe Harrison, founder of and CEO of the Recycling Partnership. I'm so glad to be here because I actually started as a turtle researcher 29 years ago. Nice. And got hooked by recycling as a college job. I was dating this guy at the time. He was picking up cans for the recycling office. Almost 30 years later, I'm still working in recycling, run the biggest recycling nonprofit, and I married the guy.
Oh, so, nice. Okay, good.
That was my end. I started the Recycling Partnership because I was trying to get to this question, why are we still talking about recycling? Yeah. Shouldn't we have figured this out by now? And what I really realized we were missing was a nonprofit to put together business interest and public sector interest and get to the heart of the community, get to the heart of the public. public, the individual. And so we set about, over the past 12 years, deeply studying, meaning we've lived in people's houses with them. They knew we were there. We had permission. While we went through their stuff and asked them why, really trying to get to the heart of that. And so we understand the science of what makes one town recycle more than another, one family more than another, and it really comes down to 4 things. And this is a recipe. It's access, which means can people do it? Lots of people can't. Ease, okay, do they have to work harder to do it, pay more, or is it simple? Appeal, does it feel icky, or does it feel part of them? And then the last one is norm, which means, are your neighbors doing it? And are they looking at what you're doing? And when we use this recipe, we can do a gap analysis. And that lets us know, like, what's the barrier in your household versus another? So to your question, like, what's happening? We studied that science.
Yeah.
But we were missing a part.
The behavioral aspect came into play a lot. I like the word love. I think what you've developed is the love where they live aspect of it, and really making that connection to their environment. A lot of times, and this is true for impact in general, we lead with statistics, like 24% this and that, so we need to fix it, right? It seems like you really focused on community pride, connection, and helping people love where they live. So what role did empathy, emotion, local identity play in all of this? Because that's groundbreaking, pioneering.
Well, that's why I'm wearing this necklace, and I see Anne's got a heart on too, so we should have coordinated 4 ways around here. We were such nerds about it that we really went from the science point of view. And I have to credit Anne and Margaritas for helping us to understand that we were missing a critical piece, and it was the human part, the love part. And so what have we seen since we've worked together, all of us on this stage, which, you know, you're seeing multiple nonprofits that are partnering in this space, which I think is good, because when there's big problems, we should not be competing. We should be working together. But how did we bring the love in? We really got to the heart of what matters. So when I'm thinking of, we work in thousands of communities across the country, but what comes to mind for this love piece is we worked in Flint, Michigan. So Flint, Michigan, we all understand the challenges there. What is it like to live there? What's the socioeconomic income there? What do they expect from their city? It took us 10 years to get the city ready to receive a multi-million-dollar grant from us to roll out recycling and trash. They did not even have formal trash cans in that city. So we rolled out both. And when we delivered them, we had our staff, we had city staff, we had the mayor that were going door to door in very poor communities. And people were coming out of their house because the mayor was coming to them. There was no joke tears. People had never felt so served. And as we follow up with them, what they say is, it gave me pride. And so we look at recycling as an important planetary protection, but even more than that, it grounds people in the pride of their place. And that's the heart that stands out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Anne, so I will make a broad blanket statement that we have seen a lot of campaigns, all of us growing up, about the environment, what to do, etc. We have the stickers on our trash cans in terms of this number and this number. What has always been the missing ingredient for things not working or this campaign here?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the really groundbreaking pieces of the work, so we invested in the behavioral research, and one of the things that really struck me about it was that people wanted empathy in the communications, and they were really tired of being told what to do.
Yeah.
And that, as simple as it sounds, was groundbreaking. Yeah. It was groundbreaking for my thinking, it was groundbreaking for our strategy. You know, there's other nuances to it, but I also think then, and Jenny will probably can talk more about this, but then what we did with the campaign was actually to hyper-target it. Mm-hmm. So it became very localized, very focused. So piloted in Austin, all three of us. And, it wasn't just Love ATX, it was Love Deep Eddy. So like they saw themselves right in the community. And I think then the next probably secret ingredient was we localized it and then we gave it away. So, Niagara Cares is on some of the creative, but HEB is on some of the creative. And, we swapped it out and we were generous, I think, with it. And I mean, you saw in the creative, it's a big, bold, disruptive campaign. If you see a billboard and it has the huge words love on it, you're gonna stop and take a moment. Yeah. So it's a combination of ingredients, but it started with understanding that people are tired, and also, this is something that is hopeful. Yeah. So I think those are some of the things that really helped move the campaign forward.
Localizing it seems like such a smart move in terms of people love wearing shirts with, make Austin weird again and things like that. They love wearing their city shirts. And so making that connection to a campaign like this. A follow-up though, you think about it nationally, and you mentioned that it's growing, new communities are taking it on. How is that going? You're both thinking locally and nationally. So what was that and internationally? How has that been?
Really, that's probably appropriate for Jenny to talk about more than me because she's got all the affiliates that she's dealing with. Yeah. I will just add one point, which is it's fascinating from my vantage point to see it change city by city. Yeah. So, in San Diego, we wrapped trolley buses. In Oakland, they did this amazing thing that cleared a homeless encampment out, painted these amazing murals. 10 million people a day are seeing these murals. And right now we're doing some other kind of crazy murals in Denver because Denver people are weird. It's just like, there's some really interesting things. So seeing it morph and localize, I think was like one of the more fascinating learning journeys that we've been on.
Yeah, strategically, we tried to look for what is the balance of making something hyper-local and national. Yeah. And so there's a national sort of folks who have the resources and the tools, and we've done this in a couple cities, so we know some things. And then it's getting local with people. Yeah. Who are the local supporters? Who are the key partners? And those may start with a Keep America Beautiful affiliate, but they don't end there. Who are the other people in the community that need to be a part of this to really make it successful? And we do this city by city, and so it's a little bit that sort of social impact model, really working well in this case. And the campaign itself is an invitation to engage. So it's an invitation. We're not like, love your city. We're like, love your city. If you love your city, you're going to take care of it. And we do not dictate what that must mean. We want it to always include recycling, but that's like the lowest bar. Otherwise, there are 160 different ways we've identified that someone might engage. Make art, plant flowers, plant trees, pick up litter, look for green space to engage in, find a neighbor to take along on your journey. All of these things are what it means to love Austin, love San Diego, love Oakland, and together, those things with partners wrapped around it to support it, to support employee engagement. So if you're a company out there looking for opportunities to engage in your community, if there's a love campaign, there's a way, right? Like if there's a Keep America Beautiful affiliate, there's a way. But this one is just a really beautiful invitation to participate and love your communities, right? Like over the last day and a half, and even Oliver just now, is like, what's the solution? It's like, what if we just love our block, our park, our neighborhood, the city where we live? Like, it's corny, but what if love is kind of the answer? Right. How do we love it more? And what is that opportunity to create? And I think that's what's giving it the glue that's really bringing it to life. I think we've all heard in this room the phrase, all politics is local. Well, you're thinking on the local level. Teasing out just a follow-up there, it also is about coalition building, and everyone in this room knows how difficult coalition building could be or can be. Partnership building, is there one lesson learned in terms of each city is different, each city is new? You're reaching out to local artists, reaching out to this, but there's probably also through lines. I think Yes, every city is different for
Yeah.
sure. And what we've tried to identify is where can we scale the coalition aspect of things.
Yeah.
So you want partnerships that are involved in parks, and you want partnerships with your recycling partners and your businesses who are in the space of the things that are littered on the ground. And our national litter study gives you some information on that. And then it's just a matter of identifying the types of partners and bringing them together. And then I think, as Ann was saying, a little humility. Like, does your logo really need to be there? Do you really need to be in the room?
right.
Or can you be the support that brings the partners together and keeps them a little bit glued together? And we've got national partnerships with Do Something, and the National Parks and Recreation folks. They're also involved with this, and together, based on the learning coming from the recycling partnership, we just start to glue these things together.
If I can add to
Please,
that
yeah.
too, this is a bipartisan issue. So as we're talking about coalition building, the work that's rolling out happens in red and blue states, red and blue cities, red and blue houses, purple all the way through. We have bipartisan support on the federal level for policy, and I think that's really important for people in this room who are fighting for social change and hitting walls and trying to figure out how to navigate. If you can find a sweet spot where people care, on both sides of the aisle, you start with that, right? And that's what Jenny's saying with this campaign. You start with the commonality, and recycling gets to be a commonality. But when you can pair policy with investment from the foundation space, you see scale and impact and staying power, and that's really cool.
Yeah. There's one statistic as we were building this and looking at data, 87% of Americans think that engaging with my neighbors in cleaning up a park, in planting flowers, in picking up litter would be a refreshing change.
Yes, absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah.
A refreshing change. Like, we all want that at this point. That is a nonpartisan issue all the way.
Absolutely. You know the composition of the audience, Jenny. Foundations, community organizations, companies. How does everyone participate? How do they get involved? What do you need?
Sure. So there's some easy things. We've got a booth out there. Most of you went through at registration. There's a sign-up sheet. Happy to engage with you around the campaign and how you can get involved. It is a big tent, low bar. We're looking for partners and supporters. We're looking for your employees, for employee engagement around these. There's always financial support. I'm a nonprofit, so there's always ways to give directly into the campaign or to bring it to your city and town. So Ann has done an amazing job at Niagara of being seed capital for this, but there are other cities and other extensions of that campaign that you could bring along if this is something your organization would like to be a part of. And of course, kab.org is where everything is around the campaign, and you can get started there.
Well done with the website drops and everything there. Yeah.
A little practice.
Yeah. Ann, as sort of a visionary behind this campaign, what gives you optimism as you look ahead down the road in terms of the next phases of this campaign? And then also just, you are creating a model for how this is done on many levels, coalition building, localizing, et cetera. What maybe is a lesson learned that others can take away as they think about model building for their own initiatives?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first one is pretty easy. There's a lot of hope and optimism to be had. You know, we, in our pilot city in Austin, we increased civic pride by 14% in the campaign with a 99% brand recall. Like, it was, there's
That's
a
great.
hunger for love in the world, writ large, right? And this campaign, as Jay was mentioning, it's the campaign about belonging. And so that also drives things. We have engaged thousands of volunteers through this partnership with the support of Do Something and NRPA and these other partners that are engaging in the campaign as well. Thousands of volunteers mobilized. And you know, in Oakland, we just had them overhaul their entire large waste system because of the campaign coming into their city. So real KPI markers that provide optimism. The thing for practitioners in the room that I would say is, like, it's hard work. Yeah. And you got to be willing to get in and do the hard work. And, you know, I feel very strongly it's my responsibility to amplify the work that of the partners that we're working with to lift up the beautiful and brilliant work that both of these people do and their organizations, but also just being able to live with the mess is part of the process.
Yeah, right. To break some eggs.
Yeah, you gotta break some eggs, and we have, and we thought we would do it one way, and then we figured it out, like, oh, maybe we should do it this way, and we're still trying to figure out how we're rolling it out. Like, now Mexico wants it, so what do we do with that? Like, how do we translate it? It's been an ongoing learning journey, and it hasn't always been clean, and that's okay.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Thank God I work for a company that allows me to launch a campaign on love. So.
Well, thank you, all three of you. I know you're doing great work across the nation, and the takeaway, among many takeaways, is let's love where we live,
Yeah.
right?
All
Thank
day.
you.
Thanks. Thank you.